What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing today? So, you clicked on this video for one main reason. You want to create liveries, but you probably don't know where to get started. I was in that same boat for basically the longest time. I didn't know how to make liveries, didn't know where to start. But over time, I learned from a few people, a few friends, and now I've made multiple liveries in multiple servers, and it really is not that hard once you get the hang of it. But most people don't know where to start, which I'm going to teach you guys how to do today. So before we get started, we're going to need to get a couple softwares. Three main ones are good old WinRAR. If you don't have that installed already, it's going to unzip your files, which you're going to be needing when you download the cars later on. Second off, you're going to need openiv. This is going to help you view the cars in a 3D modeler to see how it looks with the livery on, to see if there's anything that needs to be fixed, etc. You'll see later on. And our final one is either going to be Photoshop, or since Photoshop is relatively expensive, paint.net is also what else I'd recommend, since it is a free version of it and it has many of the features similar to Photoshop. Or you could find another alternative, but I'd recommend Photoshop if you can get it. If you can't, just get paint.net. Alright, so once you get all those softwares downloaded, make sure you get them all set up. Then we're going to get to move on. So when you're ready with all your softwares, we're going to first off want to plan the car that you're going to want to work on. So for today, I'm going to be doing cars out of Avon, Indiana. Cars that look like this. You see the badge right there. We got the police, Avon, and you see Avon Police. And there's a little text right there you probably don't see, but it's, I think it says avonpolice.gov. I will be sure to check later to make sure it's all perfectly down, but you're going to get a full 360 of the car, so you make sure it's as accurate as possible, and it's looking just like you want it to look like. So once you have everything you want to see around what the car looks like, what badges you want on there, where it should be placed, what font it should be in, we're going to be moving on to our next step, which is actually finding the car you want to use. So there could be either two stories going on here. First, there's no car that you're already going to be working off, or second, there's a car you're already working off and you just have a template. So I'd recommend when you're new to making liveries to just get cars off lspdfr.net, or whatever it is, lspdfr.com, and working on those cars until they look relatively good. For example, today we're just going to be working on a 2018 Charger by this guy right here. Thanks for posting this for free. We already downloaded it. It's going to be going through WinRAR. And we're going to be working off this one today. You could also just be given a template, which is this thing right here, which is how you actually make the liveries. Maybe if you're a developer for a server or something trying to help out, they could just give you this thing and tell you to make a livery off of it. Now, yes, you can make a livery out of this, but it's not as recommended, since it's much easier if you're actually making a livery with the files, the car files, so you can open it in openiv to see how good it looks and see if there's anything that needs to be fixed, etc. like that. Alright, so we picked a car we want to use on lspdfr. How do we go ahead and get that and work on it? So we're going to want to open it up in Photoshop, which is what I'm going to be using, like I said, paint.net, whatever you're using. Go ahead and open it up in there. Once you download the files, I forgot to mention, you're going to want to make a file on your computer, dedicated to livery type stuff. Right here you see my E drive has made a file called Liveries. You're going to want to take the files that you downloaded right here and just drag it in here. Go ahead and unzip the files. It unzips it when you drag it. Make sure you're dragging all of them. So you can see right here, it's all unzipped, and we can go ahead and open it. Like I already mentioned, we got the templates right here. We got a window template. We're not going to be focusing on it today. We're just going to focus on a body template of the car. And right here we see the Charger 18, and we see all the YTF, YTD files. We're going to focus on that later. That's going to be more important when we get to the openiv part. So let's go to the Photoshop part. Let's go ahead and open let's go ahead and find our liveries. Here we go. We got the templates right here and the files we dragged into that folder. And we're going to want to open this one that says charger sign. And here we go. There's that picture. So go ahead and what you first want to do is get basically the background body of the car. So let's go back to a picture. Notice how a good part of it is just black. We're going to want to cover this entire page in black, since that's going to cover every inch of the car in black. Also, you see this little square up here, keep this black, cover it black. So in Photoshop, I'm going to be using my rectangular marquee tool. Cover the entire page. Almost forgot. You're going to want to make a new layer for this, since this is going to be being turned on and off all the time. Go ahead and grab your tool, cover this entire page. Alright, now the entire page is selected. We're going to want to go to our paint bucket tool right here and just get all the way down here. Bottom left, bottom right corner, same thing, black. Go ahead and look at that. Entire page is black. But we can't really do much with that. So we're just going to hit this little eyeball right here and make it so you can see it. Even though we could turn on this at the end when we're done. So you're going to want to keep this black layer on the bottom so that any other layers, they're going to be on top of it. So go ahead and, like I said, turn the eyeball off so you can see the normal part. So let's get on to the part where we try to get images off Google, because you're going to need to get pictures off Google, such as the FiveM badge that's on the car right there. You're going to need that on the car to make it look relatively realistic. But when you try to look up badges, you're going to notice it's like surrounded in white, it could be surrounded in black. It's not going to look great. You could almost never find one that's not surrounded by that. Okay, so I have an image of the badge that I'm just going to be copy and pasting in here. I already have it copied. So I'm just going to hit Control V, and here we are. We got the FiveM police badge right here. The boxes on the outside make it look horrific. The white box on a black body car, oh, I can't speak, black body car is going to make it look terrible. So we're just going to want to get rid of this box. The magic wand tool in Photoshop will do that job for you. So you just click on it, and you notice how it surrounds it. You see a little outline of it. Go on and just hit backspace, and there goes part of it. Do the other parts right here, gone. And right here, gone. Look at that. There goes the background. Now you only have the badge left, which is what we want. But why can't we select it? We're going to have to take the quick selection tool. Go ahead, select the layer, and just make sure you copy all of this. Don't worry about the background, it won't pick that up. Just make sure you get all the badge. Alright, I think we get all of it. And just hit Control C. Let's go back to this little tool right here. And it's Control V. There we go. Now we have a picture of the badge. We can freely move it around. Go ahead and hide that other one right now for now. But we're going to want to shrink this one down. Let's go to where we want it. Make sure you keep referring to the picture of the car. Notice how it's right there. We have a similar charger. It's right toward the end of it. So we're going to get it down to that size. Right around here. Now you might notice how low res it is. Don't worry about that. Once you click off, it fixes resolution like that. Alright, make sure you just size it to wherever you like. Make it a little bit smaller. There we go. Now if we're going to click on our black layer, there we have it. We see the picture right there. It's going to have the entire car black, but that one badge is going to be sticking out. It's going to have that badge, the picture of the badge on there. Now you might be a little confused still. How exactly does all this work? Basically, all that the game's going to do is going to basically cut out a picture, all of this stuff right here. It's going to cut out this pink part, the blue part, all of this, and it's just going to see that. It's not going to see any of this black that's here already. It's just going to cut that out and throw it onto the car. So whatever you put there will show up on the car. If I did, for example, let me find my pencil. If I did a little orange line right through here, it will only see this part right here. It won't see this part, and won't see this part. That will be gone from the car. So keep that in mind when you're making liveries. If you have a rectangle or something, if you want to put it across the car, it goes too long, it's not going to notice the part out here. It won't show up. It won't put it on the headlight glass right here if you get anything right here. It will see this part, but it won't see that. That's basically how it works. The simplest way to put it. So let's go ahead and continue with this. As we saw, you can go ahead and get rid of the background from badges with Photoshop tools. But we need to do another part, which is put the text on here. Now, text is probably one of the biggest changers on how your livery is going to look. It can make it look a totally different way. You're going to want to find almost the exact font that it will use. So, let me go ahead and get my snipping tool. And we're going to want this for one reason. It can help us find what font it is using. So let's go ahead and find a picture of one of the Avon cars. For example, this right here. We can go ahead and grab our snipping tool. We're going to copy it out. I'm not going to do it for now since I already know what the font is because I used this website right here, Font Finder. You're going to get a picture of the font from snipping tool and we're going to throw it right in here. You're going to have to do a couple questions. You're going to answer them. You're going to point out certain parts of the picture. Then it's going to try to find a font for you. I already know the font though because I use this tool. And the font's name is, hold on, let me get a box here. It's called Moki, right here. With fonts, you can just download them off the internet. It'll give you a download link from that website, I believe, depending on which it is, if you have to pay for it or not. But Moki right here, this is the font that it uses. There we go. Let's see how similar that looks. Good old Avon Police right here. That looks just like the font. And the color too, you're going to want to also, if you want to get the colors perfectly down, copy the image, and you can just go ahead and paste it into Photoshop. Make it a little bit larger. There we go. And go ahead and just grab a color sampler tool. Go ahead and get the exact part. And there we are. That's the color that we need. Go ahead and just make sure we have it down. And it went on my other screen, but it just pops up. Make sure you sample the color right here. That's the color we picked out from there on that picture. And hit OK. And that's the color they're using on the cars. The lighting will look a little different. It might be hard to tell, but this part is actually a little bit lighter than that part, mainly due to the lighting from the photo. So you're going to want to take a couple samples. Let's go ahead and take another one from right here. That looks a slight bit darker since it is more of a darker yellowish, not lighter. So we're going to do this again. There we go. It looks a little bit better. Now, you might also notice that there is a whitish background on here. You're going to want to get that on this too. So to get that, you're going to want to go ahead, hit this little FX button, effects. Alright, then go ahead and click outer glow. Let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and grow this image a little bit so we could see or get a good sample. Oh, what the? Go ahead and get a great sample of what color we need from that little outline. So once again, we're going to take our color sampler tool. Wait for it. There we are. That's the color on the outside right there. If you want to hide this image at any time, go ahead and just hit the eyeball. It won't show up in the final image as long as it's hidden. So once again, open the effects part, outer glow. You go ahead and change it all you'd like with this, but we're going to want to choose this color right here. And there we go. We can make it a little bit bolder if we do this. You can see if you look at the police and all that, you can see how it grows and shrinks. But there we are. We got a tiny bit of a background. Might want to change it manually a little bit. We go ahead and make it a little bit lighter. It's still goldish, but it's a little bit lighter, easier to see. So there we go. there's the font down. You're going to want to do this for both sides, as long as that's what it looks like in photo. When you're switching it from one side to another, make sure you just go ahead and copy it so it doesn't look any different. So just copy the image, make sure you're using all these triangles and rectangles and all that to line up perfectly. You're really gonna have to eyeball it out, but you gotta get to as close as possible so it doesn't look very off center. You can always check it, as like I said, with openiv, which you're gonna be doing in just a little bit. But go ahead and pause the video. Go ahead and line all this up, and we can move on from there. All right, and welcome back. So I went ahead and put the Avon on there since I kind of forgot to do that, and I got it pretty much set up on both sides. It looks relatively similar on spacing. We go ahead and check that once we get the openiv. We already got the same exact spots on each side, same font, same everything. It's all copied and pasted, same effects. So we go ahead and move on to our last part, which we need to do for now until we get into the actual fighting of it. We got the bumper right here. You're going to want to recognize each part of it. Right here, this is the rear bumper. This is the hood. This is the top of the car, top of the trunk, etc. So we got the bumper right here. Let's go ahead and see what needs to go on there. So we go ahead and look for the, here we go, avonpolice.gov is what it says, and we got the Avon Police right there. So you're going to recognize positions where it's supposed to go. So this is supposed to be below the lights right there, but above that little part right there. Kind of hard to explain each part, you just got to visually look at it. So Avon Police goes right here. Same color as all this. So let's go ahead and put Avon Police. So it's the wrong color. We're going to want to fix that, obviously. Fit, make it fit. And let's first off change the size of the font. Go ahead and just click on it and scroll down if you want to do it like that. That's how I usually do it. Much faster, much easier. Avon Police still looks a little big, so we're going to make it a little bit smaller. 70, see how that looks, and make sure it's spaced out evenly, make sure it's pretty centered. Right, this is about centered. Even though that space isn't centered perfectly, you're going to want each end of it centered on each side. You're going to want it evenly. You see how it's just a little bit of space right there, a little bit of space right there. That's how we like it. Let's go ahead and get a little eyedrop tool, copy the cutter right there, and let's put that cutter on there. There we go. Oops, let's go ahead and put you down a little bit. Make sure we got just enough spacing. There we go. Alright, looks good. We just got to put the Avon Gov right there. I don't want to bore you guys with time, so I'm just going to do that real quick. See you back in a second. Alright, we're back. And there we go. We got the avonpolice.gov right there. That looks all good. So, I think I'm ready to throw this in openiv, see how it looks. We got all the spots that we need to hit. Looks just like the images. We got the back, got the sides. That's really it. This is a very simple car to make. So we're ready to export it. So first of all, make sure you're saving it very often. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little save as, save. You're gonna want to turn to black layer on. Once again, make sure it's almost at the lowest so that all of these spots are showing up, and if you don't have this black layer on, all this weird coloring is going to show up on the car. It's going to look terrible. It's going to look like a template card, literally. So once again, make sure it's ticked on. I do this all the time. I always forget to tick it on. Go and just do the same thing, quick export. I'm just going to do charger sign. I'm just going to do 2, just not overwrite the other one, create any issues for now. Alright, it's all saved. Let's go and open openiv. Go ahead and do Grand Theft Auto 5. Alright, once you're in openiv, always turn on edit mode right here. Edit mode, go ahead and say yes. Alright, from here we're going to want to hit File, Open File, and look for where you put the car files. If you don't have the car files, you can go ahead and skip the rest of this. You're pretty much done. But if you want to view this in 3D and you have car files, go ahead and find them, select folder, and we're gonna go ahead and hit Charger 18. It may look a little bit different. Never open the templates, that doesn't matter, that's just the pictures. We're gonna want to look for the actual car file, so they're in here, Charger 18, the stream, and here we are, the YTD and YTF files. This is what we're looking for. So you're going to want to hit the YTD first. This actually views it in 3D. It comes with the default livery, or at least it should. Oh, doesn't look like it does, so it just comes in a default grayish color. But you could see how we could view it in 3D. We could turn it, we could see all angles of it. This isn't important yet. We're going to want to first off put our livery on it. How do we do that? Let's go ahead and close this out. Go and do Charger 18 plus high YTD. A bunch of stuff opens. We're going to want to look for the sign. This is the sign we're going to want to look for. Charger sign 1. Go ahead and click replace. Go find wherever you saved your template or livery. Open it. Notice how it changed and just hit save. Alright, considering we did everything right, once you open it, look at that. You got your livery on there. Now, maybe there's something you don't like about it. We can see how the Charger, the E and R are already overlapping with the A. It looks a little weird right here. It looks like it's on a little bend. The Avon, it looks a little bit too bluish if you ask me. It should be a little more white, like in pictures. So, this is the good thing about openiv. You can see how it would look in action. It doesn't look perfect. It never does in openiv. openiv is relatively low quality, but it gives you an idea of how it's going to look like. So, like that, we already noticed a couple things wrong with it. You go ahead and fix that. But everything else, we can see how the pictures look. Looks relatively good. Police, you can see the outline. It looks all good. So yeah, overall, I think everything looks pretty solid. If you want to check out different extras and all that, you go ahead and turn off and on. For example, each extra is for different parts on it. We go ahead and just turn all these off. You see how it looks bare bones. But basically, that is how you make a livery. Go ahead and keep practicing this over and over. You don't just get it like that. It took me many tries. It was a lot of discouragement, but you need to keep practicing and practicing. Keep going on LSPDFR, get different cars, try it on different types of vehicles, SUVs, sports, etc. Doesn't have to be just police cars, but that's what I primarily do. So I was showing you guys how to make a police livery. But that is the basics of it. If you want to go ahead and send that and put it in the game, you're going to want to look for a different video. I don't go into the files. I don't show people how to add it into the game, but I'm teaching people how to make liveries, and this is the basics of it. So that's all I really got for today. Thank you for viewing. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you could understand what I was trying to teach. Hopefully I took it slow enough. But overall, thanks for viewing. Have a good day.